Damn, I forgot how big this thing feels. That's what she said. What's going on this evening, guys? Just got off of work a little while ago and I decided to shoot a quick vlog, mainly because I'm running the new GoPro Hero 7 Black and I wanted to take it out for a little test run before this weekend's big ride coming up. I'm filming this on a Tuesday. The Wild and Wonderful Weekend event, the ride itself kicks off this Saturday. The camera came in, I think, on Saturday while I was out of town. This is the first opportunity I've gotten to try it out, so just wanted to give it a little bit of a test run, see how everything works on it before using it on the trip coming up this weekend. So I didn't actually get the camera until Sunday because Noah and I were up in New Jersey. We left Friday night, got back home, I don't know, Sunday around 5:30 or so. Took the camper, toy hauler up, whatever you want to call it. Took the dirt bikes up. He raced the 50cc class on Saturday, took a 4th place in his 50 race, took a 13th place in his 65 race, but he looked much more comfortable in the 65 than when we were at that track earlier this year. Really sandy course. He's had a little trouble with the sand over the last couple of seasons, but he's looking much better on it. So, and I even took my 250 XCF up. I have not raced since last October. To be honest, I really just haven't been on my dirt bike a whole lot this year. I rode a decent amount over the winter, and then once spring hit, I just haven't had time. We've either been at the racetrack with him or been out of town on motorcycle trips or just been busy. Come on, asshole. What is wrong with people? Anyway, I took my 250 up and I went ahead and pre-registered because I knew if I didn't pre-register, I'd talk myself out of running the race. So I entered the Sunday morning race, which is sportsman and schoolboy and then basically all the C classes, which I ride in C-Vet, C-Vet. So that's C-class riders, so those of us that aren't very fast or haven't scored enough points or whatever to move up to B. And veteran is ages 30 and up, and then you have senior class, which is 40 and up. So I race in the veteran class. First lap went pretty well. I've been doing a little more cardio training than I normally do, so I wasn't tired at the end of it. And I came around at the end of the first lap. Now keep in mind, my best finish to date, at least in my class, was 20th, and that's what I did last year, the final round of the season at Sahara Sands. Went out and took a 20th place finish, which scored 1 point in the championship. So out of the 3 rounds last year, I scored a total of 1 point. And I came around at the end of the first lap, and they have a screen set up there, and your number pops up. I run number 646 on my bike, and then your place pops up, and it said 13th. And I went, something must be wrong with scoring. There's no way I'm in 13th place. Now keep in mind, that's in my class, not overall. There was about 250 riders total. And then we take off in 1 minute increments. So I think it was the 10th line to take off that morning. But I was 13th place on my line, which, you know, I was pretty happy about. Second lap went pretty well for me. Came around at the end of the second lap, and so I was in 12th place. And I went, okay, that's not too bad. And I should say on the second lap, near the end of it, I was running with a guy in my class, and I got caught out of I got out of the rut, a deep sand rut that I should have tried to stay in, and I got pushed a little wide and got into the real deep stuff. And I wouldn't really call it a crash, but I did lose the bike, had to pick it up. And there was a time earlier in that lap that I hit the handlebar and kept the bike up, but stalled it out there for a second in a real tight section. So had a couple mistakes there on the second lap, but yeah, coming around in 12th place, so that's not too bad. Well, by the time I started my third lap, the track was really starting to deteriorate. Some of the faster guys were probably on their 4th lap at that point. And it's a sandy course to begin with. There's some real sugary sand there. I came down through a section and I came up short on a jump and hit the face of it with my front tire. And yeah, it didn't go so well. I don't want to say I went over the handlebars. If it wouldn't have been for the handlebars, I would have gone over the front of the bike. But picked myself up out of the sand. Took me a little while to get back into rhythm after that. But ended up salvaging an 11th place finish in my class. Didn't ride too bad the rest of that lap. It was just, it got tougher, and to be honest, I started to get a little tired. So pretty happy with an 11th place finish. That's 10 points in the championship. Not that my points will end up counting in it, because you need to run at least half of the events, and I'm not going to be anywhere near that. I think there was a total of, I don't know, it was 10 events this year, 9 events this year, something like that, and I'm probably only end up running 2 of them. So, but it was still good. I know I felt a whole lot better on the bike. And then I got back, and I ran that round last year, so I went back and looked at my times from last year, and they were about 2 minutes a lap faster, which is a big deal, especially when you consider that they stretched the course out an extra mile this year. So instead of running an 8-mile loop, we were out there running a 9-mile loop. So it wasn't a true apples to apples comparison, but you know, I was even faster than way faster than I was last year, because not only was the lap times faster, but the course was longer. So at least, you know, I know some of the ride time I got in over the winter helped, but I got a lot of work left to do on that bike to just get better riding off-road. But the big thing was I had a great time out there. It was a lot of fun. Noah was out there cheering me on, and even he said after the race, he's like, "Dad, you didn't look slow out there this time." So huge compliment from the 9-year-old. Now, before the race started, I was getting ready in the trailer that morning. Noah and I were watching the basically like the replay of MotoGP, because it came on at like some weird hour, and we were watching it. I'm getting dressed, and normally under my riding gear, I wear like a pair of spandex pants, because I wear knee pads, shin pads for a little added protection in case you crash. And I noticed I forgot my spandex. So I wasn't going to ride without the knee pads. So what ended up happening, you know, they have like 2 big wide pieces of elastic on them, and you can guess what happens over the course of an hour and a half riding with those on your bare skin. Somehow it did not do any damage to my left leg, but behind my right knee, I mean, it just looks like somebody took 80 grit sandpaper and just sanded my skin down. I mean, it's pretty raw back there right now. So much so that even though I'm wearing jeans at the moment, I actually have some spandex, neoprene, whatever you want to call them, pants on underneath my jeans, just because I don't want the bare denim rubbing on the back of my leg. And then I mentioned the crash I had in the race. I've got a really nice bruise on my left thigh from where it banged off the handlebar. I'm going to flash that up on the screen in just a second, so if you're a little squeamish and you don't like seeing things like that, you might want to scan forward just a few seconds and then come back on. So anyway, as you can see, it is a little bit bruised up. I was definitely sore Monday morning. I was probably a little bit more sore this morning, but everything's kind of working itself out now. And I'm planning on going up to, I'm trying to think, I think it's in Egg Harbor, New Jersey, Sahara Sands, the final round this year, October 20th and 21st. Noah obviously will be racing on Saturday. I ran that race last year, so I'm going to do the Sunday morning race again and just see how I stack up out there. I'm not really racing, I mean, I am racing against the other guys out there, but I'll really be racing against myself and my times last year to see if I've improved, and then hopefully be able to get some work in the off season and further improve my very limited skill set when it comes to off-road riding. So anyway, I just wanted to get this Hero 7 out and test it out a little bit tonight. Wanted to get the bike out and run it a little bit. It hasn't been ran in like a couple of weeks now, and like I said, we're going on the Wild Wonderful weekend trip coming up on Saturday, so we're going to be riding, I don't know, I think around 650 miles, something like that. So I just wanted to get the bike out for a quick run, make sure everything's operating smoothly on it before we take off on Saturday. But I got to get back to the house now and get some preparation done for everyone that's going to be coming over on Friday night to hang out, drink a couple beers, eat some food, and just kind of go over what we're going to get into over the weekend. There will obviously be a video series of the ride coming up. It's probably going to be a little while. I'm still working on the Alaska trip footage. I started editing day 3 last night. It's coming together pretty well. Hoping to get that up on the channel here pretty soon. But as you guys know, there was 19 days of that trip, plus, what the hell? Plus, Kristen and I took that trip down to Kentucky, and I haven't even started to look at that footage yet. So I think my plan is I'm going to try to get some regular uploads up on like Mondays and Thursdays of some newer stuff, and the trip footage will probably come out weekly between now and hell, probably next riding season, with as much footage as I have to edit. So we'll see how it goes. I am working on it. It's just been a busy time here lately, but we are wrapping up the race season here in just a couple of weeks, so that'll give me a few more weekends at home. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider hitting that subscribe button, because if you like motorcycles, well, this is the place to be. Let me know down in the comments section what you guys think about the Hero 7 Black. I don't know if you're going to notice a big difference. I'm still shooting in 1080 at 60 frames per second, but I don't know. Maybe it'll look better. I guess I'll figure it out when I get back to edit it. And as always, I'll talk to you again soon.